Division review. Alright, so we have the problem here, 8 divided by 4. Hopefully you know the answer, but if you don't, what division means is how many times does 4 go into 8? How many 4s make 8? So if you skip count and you say 0, 4, then add 4 more, that makes 8. So really what we have is 2 4s make 8. Now each part of a division problem has a name. The answer is called the quotient. The first number, the one that's being divided, is called the dividend, and the 4, the one that's cutting that 8, is called the divisor. Now we can write a division problem in various ways. Obviously we can write 8 divided by 4 like this, which we already did. 8 divided by 4 is 2. We can also write it with a long division sign, and when we write it as long division, we change the order because we say 4 goes into 8 how many times? That'll still be 2 times. And then a third way is to write it as a fraction, where we have the dividend, the 8, being divided by the divisor. 8 over 4 is still 2. So there's 3 different ways to write a division problem, and depending on the situation, you're going to pick which one you want. Find the quotient of 30 and 4. So the answer to a division problem is called quotient. That tells us that we need to divide. We can write it as 30 divided by 4, or we can even use the long division sign. 4 goes in to 30. In this case, I'm going to use the long division sign because I know that if I skip count by 4, it doesn't make 30 exactly. So when I'm dealing with a more difficult division problem, I use the long division sign. The steps to doing it with the long division sign are divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. And if you're afraid of forgetting those rules, you can think about daddy, mother, sister, brother. D for division, multiply is M, subtraction is S, and bring down is B. And we do these steps over and over until we get to the end of the answer. So divide. You say to yourself, how many times does 4 go into 3? 3 is too small. 4 can't fit in 3. So on the top we put our answer, 0. And then we do 4 times 0, because that's the multiply step. Then we subtract and bring down the 3. And then we bring down the next number, 0. Now we skip count 4s into 30. Well, if we skip count 4s, that's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. Well, we're trying to go into 30, so we can't use 32. That's too much. The number we want is 28. How many 4s was that? That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. And so we put that up at the top for the answer, 7. Now we divided, so now we multiply. 4 times 7 is 28. Now we subtract. That's 2. There's no more numbers here, so we're finished, except that we have something left over. So 4 goes into 30 7 times with a remainder. What's left over? 2. Find the quotient of 415 and 5. I'm going to use long division. So you were saying, how many times does 5 go in to 415? Can 5 go into 4? No, 5's too big, so we put a 0. 5 times 0 is 0. Now we're going to say, how many times does 5 go into this 41? What you need to do then is skip count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. 45 is too much. It goes over 41. We want to know how many 5s go into 41. So we get as close as we can get, but not go over. That means we're going to use 40. How many 5s make 40? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. And if you know your times tables, you're going to be a lot quicker. You're going to say 5 times 8 is 40. That's very close. So that's what I'm going to use. Now that we've divided it, 5 goes into 41 8 times. We multiply. 5 times 8 is 40. We take this away. 1, bring down that last number. 5, we've got 15. We got to say how many 5s make 15. Well, that works out perfectly right here. 3 5s. 5 times 3 is 15. Now we subtract, and we see that we have nothing left over, so that the answer is 83 times. 5 goes into 415 83 times. Alright, this one. If a tiger eats 2,916 pounds of meat in a year, how much does it eat in 1 month? This doesn't have the word quotient, it doesn't say the word divide, but it is a division problem because you're taking all of this meat and you're cutting it up into equal pieces. Well, how many months are in a year? There's 12 months in a year. And we want to cut this amount of meat into 12 equal pieces because the tiger's probably going to eat the same amount each month. So a problem like this, again, it looks like a little more difficult division problem, so I'm going to write it as a long division problem. Alright, so don't forget our steps. Our steps were to first divide, then multiply, then subtract, and then bring down. So we divide. How many times does 12 go into 2? Well, 12 is too big. It doesn't go into 2, so we put a 0 on the top. And we multiply. 12 times 0 is 0. Subtract, that's 2. And then we bring down the next number, 9. Now we skip count. We're back to dividing. How many times does 12 go into 29? 12 plus 12 is 24. So 12, 24, 36. 36 is too big. It goes over 29. So we're going to use the 24. That's 2 12s. We get 5. Bring down the next number, 1. And we've got to find out how many 12s go into this 51. So we have 12, 24, 36. 36 plus 12 is 48. If we go again, that's going to be 60, but 60 is too big, so we want 4 12s. Subtract, and we get 3. Bring down the next number, that's 6. 12 goes into 36, we can see it right here. That's 3 12s, so 36. Subtract, we see we have nothing left over. So the answer is 243 pounds. So the answer is 243 pounds in a month. If you want to check your work, the opposite of dividing is multiplying. We multiply that 243 times the 12 months. We should get the same number that we started with, 2,916. If we do, it means we did it correctly. I do get 2,916, so that means it is correct. The answer is 243 pounds in 1 month.